welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. There's losing, and then there's that. There's losses, and then there's what we experienced today. There's losses, and then there's also collapses. And that's what we saw today. The New York Giants took me on one of the worst roller coasters ever at Mile High. The highest of highs to the lowest of lows in one game. The New York Giants played the game perfectly for 3 7/8 quarters. For 90% of the game. I want to start off by saying this. We can point the finger. We can point our fingers at McAtamney. We can point our fingers at Tay Banks. We can point our fingers at a lot of things, but it all starts here for me. I got a new nickname for Brian Dable, for Shane Bowen, for Mike Kafka. It's the Three Stooges. It's the Three Stooges. For the people that remember the Three Stooges, you watch three people fumble around for 30 minutes for the entire episode. Fumble around, but instead for us, they didn't fumble around for the whole episode. They just fumbled at the end. And the bad part about it is you had a reference for a better reaction for this game. Just look at the Dallas game. The Dallas game should have told you how to play this game. Twofolds. Why? Because of this. When it was 28-6, you decided to do what? Take your foot off the gas. You decided to play keep away, Brian Dable, because at the end of the day, the decisions that are made on the field from the coordinator still got to get past the head coach. And he was okay with playing keep away, not being aggressive. He was okay with that. And what happened when the New York Giants did that? We lost. On defense, when we stopped being aggressive at the end, again, it's deja vu. We've seen this movie before. We know how it ends. You go up at the end of the game, under a minute, you score. You leave just enough time on the clock, knowing that this team is fighting for a field goal. A field goal wins you the game. What did you do? You rushed 3. Like you didn't see this happen in week 2 against the Dallas Cowboys. Like you don't have a reference to go back to and learn from. That's a problem when it comes to the coaching. If you lose the same way that you lost before, why are you even my coach? If you can't do or make adjustments or make better decisions or learn off of your mistakes, previous mistakes, not even mistakes from other people. You made the mistake in week 2 when that happened. When you didn't want to rush and be aggressive on defense for the final plays of the game. And what happened? They get right back in the field goal range. And they win the game at home. The New York Giants played this game damn near perfect when they were being aggressive. But as soon as they took their foot off the gas, if you're scared to keep your foot on the gas, if you don't have that killer instinct in you, you can't be the coach in New York. You can't be the coach in New York if you coach scared. If you want to play keep away. You don't have the players for that. Your players are dogs. Your players want to keep their foot on its team's necks. Your players are the people that the other team talked about. You saw how they talked about Jackson Dart. You saw how they talked about Abdul Carter. You saw how they talked about Kayvon Thibodeau. Those guys went out there and had themselves a game. Brian Burns is now the sack leader in the NFL. They deserve to be coached the way that they need to be coached, to put them in the correct position or the right position to win games, to be competitive day in, day out for 60 minutes. Where's Cop Pizzle at, man? Cop Pizzle will let you know it's 60 minutes in a whole 60 minutes. It's not 58 minutes. It's not 54 minutes. It's not 55. It's the whole 60 minutes till the clock says all zeros. But what did you do? You got comfortable and you wanted to play keep away. You found a way to lose today. 33 points in a quarter. 33 points in a quarter in a game where you didn't give up any points in the previous quarters. And I can point my finger and say exactly when that changed. Exactly when the New York Giants made the decision to be less aggressive. There's a point in this game where you saw it shift. You saw it in the lineup. You saw it with how the cornerbacks backed up. You saw it. And we knew already that it was going to be a mistake. But it did not change anything. So yes, I can point the fingers at McAtamney. I could point my fingers at Tate Banks for not being better than what he is, but we know who Tate Banks is. We know his limitations. We know Jude. There's a reason why Jude McAtamney wasn't the go-to guy right away when Graham Gano went down. We went out there inside young Kwaku. There's a reason for that. Because you didn't really trust him. But instead of making a move, a proactive move, instead now we're going to be reactive. And guess what? Jude McAtamney probably loses his job. He probably gets released. But it doesn't even really matter because he's already just a guy on the practice squad. It's not like you get some roster relief from releasing him from the team. No, he's not even a part of the 53 really. So it doesn't even make a difference if you release him. It probably doesn't. But the whole point is you had time to make moves. You made cap space this week, and you didn't do anything with it. Now, nobody could have been able to foresee what would have happened because, again, for the first 3 quarters, the New York Giants were putting belt to ass. But what happened? What they always say, you let them off the hook. The New York Giants let them off the hook. So it is what it is now. I'm back in that mode where I really don't care what happens the rest of the season as far as we can win, we can go to the playoffs. We're still mathematically possible. The team is playing hard enough to do that. We just went against the 3rd best defense in the league because they told us the Chargers were the best defense. Then they told us Philadelphia is one of the best defense. Then they told us no, not really. The Broncos are the best defense. And what did we do? We walked right through all of those defenses. So don't tell me that the New York Giants can't win games. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of any team in the league. I'm not afraid to play anybody. There's no team that scares me. The only thing that scares me for the New York Giants are the guys that are coaching. Brian Daboll scares me. Shane Bowen scares me. Mike Kafka scares me. Why? Because you can have the perfect game plan. You can put up all the touchdown points. You can look fantastic. You can turn a number 1 contending team into mush. But then you go ahead and make the mistakes and decisions at the end of games that just really don't make sense. So can I really trust you? No, you terrify me. Brian Daboll terrifies me. Shane Bowen terrifies. Mike Kafka terrifies me. You telling me up 28-6. Us regular fans are on Twitter saying, be aggressive. And what do? You want to play keep away. And what did it do? It shot you in the foot. Shane Bowen on defense, when we know this team needs a field goal to win the game, what do? You go into prevent defense and you rush 3. Knowing doggone well you're not going to be able to get to him. And what you do, you leave him all the time in the world to find somebody downfield. And even though you rush 3, and put everybody else back, I'm watching 5 defenders watch this Broncos receiver catch the ball. It's not like it was a 1-second pass, 10-yard pass, or a 20-yard. It was a 40-yard pass. You had enough time to react, to see where that ball was going. 5 New York Giants around that player, and they still get the reception. But guess what? They didn't just settle for the field goal right there. Because they could have been I believe they were right there at field goal range. No, they didn't do that. What did they do? They got even more aggressive. That's what the Broncos did. That's what the Broncos coaching staff did. They showed how tough they were. They didn't just settle for the 50-yard field goal. No. They kept their foot on the gas, even though they didn't have any timeouts. And they took a chance and got the completion and got an extra 20 yards downfield, and it turns into a cheap shot. And now the New York Giants are sitting here at 2-5. Why? Because the coaches got scared. The three damn stooges. So I don't want to hear anything about McAtamney. McAtamney is McAtamney. We can't fire McAtamney for being McAtamney. I need my GM, I need my coaches to say, yeah, McAtamney's not the guy. We can't trust him. I don't need to find that out in the game that you don't trust him. And then we're chasing that extra point. And then what do I expect McAtamney to do in that position at the end of the game? When he's a guy that you don't even trust him enough to put him on your 53, but you trust him enough to kick the extra point at the end of the game. And what happened? Wide right. So save me all the bull about there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We got a fantastic quarterback. You know, we're moving in the right direction. Miss me with all that. I should be celebrating a win right now, but I'm not. I should be celebrating the 4 touchdowns in the air and 1 touchdown on the ground game for Jackson Dart. I should be celebrating a 100-yard receiving game almost for Daniel Bellinger. I should be celebrating that. I should be celebrating Brian Burns being in the lead for sacks this season. I should be celebrating that, but instead of that, I'm looking at another loss. And that's my problem right now, because until those things change, what does it matter that we have a franchise quarterback if we can't trust the coach? What's the purpose of having a good defense and the leading, the sack leader on the team if I can't trust my defensive coordinator? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of wanting to trade for a wide receiver to get my quarterback some help when I can't trust the offensive coordinator? What's the purpose? I can't just be satisfied with seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I want to make it to the end of the tunnel without all of these roadblocks. And until that changes, who knows? Shame on me for believing that the New York Giants can compete. And the funny thing is, we did compete. For 3 and 7/8 quarters, we were the better team. But we didn't go for the full 60 minutes. We only fought for 55. And that's the problem. Soft coaches make soft decisions and end up turning into soft teams. And this team, the players, they're not soft. Find somebody that's going to do the job. There's nothing that we can do this year. Brian Dable most likely makes it out at the end of the season. I don't know for sure. Somebody has to pay for this at some point in time. But Jackson Dart deserves a better coach. Cam Scatterbull deserves a better coach. His defense deserves a better coach. These players deserve better at the end of the day. And until that happens, who knows what's going to happen? I know what's losses. And close losses, too, when you should have won the game. The Dallas game, should have won that game. The Saints game, should have won that game. This game, you should have won that game. What happened? I blame a lot of this on the coaching. It is what it is. So we got to hold this L for a week. I got to deal with these Denver Broncos fans for a week. But I got to look at my coaches. I can't even blame the Broncos. I got to look at my coaches and look at them and saying, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? 26-8. What are you really doing? You tell me what you're doing. Because what you're doing is not coaching. It's being soft. And there's no place for soft in New York. Get out of here. Just get out of here.